Guys, are you taking 2 seconds or Javonte Williams?
Javonte.
Probably hold on to Javonte there.
What about a 24 first?
See ya.
Javonte Williams.
Goodbye.
He gone.
Goodbye.
Real
So
gone.
any first?
Any first.
All right, so Scott, you're up first. Let's talk Javonte.
I mean, haven't we been through this before? Cam Akers. Yeah, it was the Achilles. It was perceived to be worse, but maybe it's not worse. J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins tore his ACL August 28th of 2021. He didn't return until September 26th of 2022. So 13 months. Now, he had a torn hamstring, a torn LCL, and a torn ACL. A little bit more significant. He even said, like last week, his injury was more significant than everybody knew. But it still took him 13 months to get back. And I think the bigger impact with Dobbins is, and reports are that Javonte's is just the LCL and the ACL, not the hamstring. So maybe, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I've read some people's takes on this, and they're saying, it's 9 to 12 months, but there is additional damage. So until they get in there, he could have meniscus damage as well. Like, This isn't a guarantee, hey, 9 months, he'll be ready to go. So I think it's a possibility that it's a year, and a year from Sunday would be October of 2023. So we're talking about at least 4 or 5 weeks into the season next year before he's even like ready to potentially get back on the field. And that assumes no complications or anything like that. So then you look at Dobbins, and it's not just that he's back now. Look at his value from when he went down to yesterday. It's been up and down, right? Like, I'm not sure what he's going to be. How many people over the summer did you hear, I'm fading Dobbins for 2022 just because I don't know what he's going to be when he comes back? There's no way he's getting 20 touches a game coming off an ACL. They're going to ease him in. We don't know if that's true or not. Good thing for him is every other running back they've had has also gotten hurt. So, like, he's going to have a chance probably. But I just think this impacts his value, not just for the rest of this year. He's lost. You're not getting anything for him. But I think it impacts his value all summer. He's never going to be a guy where if you have him in May, people are going to be lining up to give you picks for. People are going to be lining up to swap you other players for. It's just going to be like you're parking him on your bench. You hope he comes back. You pray when he comes back he's good. And that he has a role at least what he's had over the last year and a half. And then here's the other thing. What has he been over the last year and a half? Like an RB2. So really, what are you getting if he comes back? I'm just looking at how many hurdles he needs to overcome to get back to becoming a difference-making running back. Why would I bet with a future first-round pick, which I only have one of in each year? Is that really where you want to put your chips? Like how many other things can I do with that first? Forget about in the season. How many more things can I do with that first in February, in March, in April? Just seems like it's a dumb place to send a first for. And if there's somebody out there, I mean, I've sold 2 of my shares of Javonte, one for a 24 first, one for Christian McCaffrey. I can't believe someone sent me McCaffrey. Someone sent me McCaffrey, and I look at his team. He's 0-4. He wants McCaffrey off his roster, and he goes, I'll buy the injured running back. So I think in that case, it makes sense. But still, like that, I didn't even think twice. I just hit accept. And it's like, you know what? I'll take the guy that's going to score me points. I'm a win now team. I'm a good team. So like that helps me as well. But there's deals like that to be had. People still are buying into the name, and I just don't have time for injured running backs. I mean, this is the worst time for the injury, too. This is his 2 prime years, year 2 and year 3. These are where running backs can make their money, either the most market value or the most production. And he's going to be impacted in both of those years. So, I mean, it sucks. I just don't have time to hold on to running backs that are in this time of their career, and they're going to miss multiple years in terms of their dynasty value peak. So I'm out.
Let's say you were asset rich, right? So you had 3 or 4 24 firsts. Would you still not spend one of those in Javonte Williams?
I mean, listen, if you said you want to buy him for a random 24 first and you have 4 of them already, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a horrible process. But I looked at like ADP. Where do you think J.K. Dobbins was going in a 12-team Superflex in May of this year? You got any guesses?
4th.
So right at the beginning of the 5th round.
Exactly.
So he was like RB 13, RB 14 range. But still, it was at the point where it was like people were not even trading those picks for random 23 firsts. So it's like that's the peak of where it can get to. There's going to be opportunities between now and then where you could probably buy some Javonte Williams on the rebound. After 6 months of time goes by, you get all the information. Hey, his rehab's going great. I'll buy back in at still a maybe a little bit more than what you have to pay today. I'm just out. If I can get a pick, I'll worry about getting shares of him later.
There's a reason we've preached that running backs are a bad investment, right? Because, well, this is unfortunately something that happens to running backs. I mean, just look at Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago, Saquon Barkley a couple times, Javonte Williams now. Jonathan Taylor might be out for 4 to 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, you invest heavily in them, and then what? You know, they get hurt, and then you're just you don't even have assets to go make another move. Especially on a rebuilding team, like those assets, I don't want to just throw them around. Like those should be thrown around like man covers, not manholes. Whatever the things are that go on the manholes, the heavy pieces. Another thing I saw today is people trading for other running backs to replace Javonte Williams. Like I just lost Javonte Williams, so let me go give up a first for another running back. Like, bro, are you not watching or broette? Like running backs get hurt. This is what happens. This is why the only investment you should make in them is rookie drafts and old people when they get to be Austin Eckler's age and you can get them for, you know, a cheaper price.
Yeah. Like, so if someone wants to buy him now, so if somebody wants to buy and you don't recommend giving a first, what's another way of doing it?
So I traded for him today. I traded for him in a start 13. So give a little context to the league and then the offer that was made to me. But I was offered Javonte Williams for Mike Williams and Isaiah McKenzie, and it's in a league where I have like no hope this year. And quite frankly, I'd need to hit on several of my rookie draft picks next year, which I do have 6. But still, you know, I'd need to hit on like probably all of them to be able to win. So this is a 2024 roster at the best anyway. So I figure, all right, by then, you know, Javonte Williams might be back. And if he's not, losing Mike Williams and Isaiah McKenzie really isn't going to hurt me on a rebuilding roster.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a team that, you know, Shane is basically stripped down to the studs, but we know Shane doesn't really like Mike Williams. Isaiah McKenzie he's a 1-year player. So Shane's like, hey, you know, that's about 50% of the Javonte cost, and that's a point per carry league. Saw a deal today. Someone traded Elijah Moore and Ramondre Stevenson for Javonte Williams. And I just don't understand, even if you are not winning, why are you trading those 2 players for an injured running back when those 2 players are guys I think have value past 1 year? Another deal, I saw Ramondre Stevenson and Marquise Brown for Javonte Williams. And like the team was in 10th place, so they're going, oh, I want to tank. But why are you trading Marquise Brown? He's going to have like 180 targets this year. And he's good. And then Ramondre Stevenson, like that, those are players I would just want to break up and sell in a different deal instead of buying one Javonte Williams. So I saw those 2 deals and I'm like, dude, if I can get those deals, I almost would have done a deal like that before this, you know? And now he's injured and someone just smashed accepting those trades. So I actually think the injury helps trade a running back like Javonte, because if you tried to sell him as a top 6 running back before this, people just go, well, how many points per game is he scoring?
Yeah.
Like, he's scoring like 17 points per game. He's okay. He's good. But I immediately want the first plus for him. And people are like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to give you a first and a receiver. But now that he's hurt, I'm going to give you those 2 pieces. And the injury people are like, yeah, sure. I'm getting 90% of what his value was before, and he's out for the year.
This is one of the few times I'll actually buy a running back, right? Because it's at a discount. Like I traded for Cam Akers from Scott earlier in the year, right? I think I gave up a 2nd and a 3rd in a league that I have assets. That's the only leagues where I'll be like, all right, I'm paying for a running back, because yeah, Javonte Williams before today to acquire him would have taken way too much. Like I wouldn't even think about it. I'd look at another roster and I'd be like, I need a running back. I'd see Javonte Williams and I'd be like, no. Let's shop a little lower. Like we need the generic, like slightly used, slightly damaged version of Javonte Williams. And now we have him. And his name is Javonte Williams. So these are the only times I'll really buy running backs like this, and I don't expect it to turn out well, to be quite frank with you. I'm just hoping for that 1 in 15 that turns into James Robinson or Adrian Peterson. And you notice like the 2 running backs I just named are like 15 years apart. You're hoping for like a once every 10-year type of situation to pop off.
So let's say you're a rebuilding team and you've got a tough guy on your roster to sell, Keenan Allen, and you want to rebuild. What about trading Keenan Allen for Javonte Williams?
Yeah,
I would do that. Because Keenan Allen,
Good
you're
for
never
that.
getting a first. That's like giving him
Exactly. That's
early to
where-
mid second value. Yeah, that's perfect. That's
That's
how
where
you sell
my
him.
thought process was.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's how you sell him. If
exactly
you can
that.
sell him for Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, like those types, I'm okay doing that. It's the, why are you giving up a Hollywood Brown who's 25, and this has a 25% career market share? Like, why are you giving up that guy for? And then you're throwing in another good running back. I
Throwing
just
in
don't understand
Ramondre,
when you're
yeah, it doesn't make
selling
sense.
young players. Makes no sense.